recently you guys really exploded. I think you started the year with around 300 million TVL, which is, still a decent number. So you were already growing. But in the past couple of months, it really shot up to over 2 billion. So what different factors do you think influenced this growth?
I think there are multiple levels, but I think ultimately I think the product makes sense. So for a good part of last year, so we launched Pendle V2 at the end of 2022, and for the good part of last year, we had been iterating the product, collecting feedbacks, and how basically optimize the UI UX. So the product, in my opinion, has to make sense to begin with, and then the other thing on top of that, right, is that we were also very aggressive in our investment in business development and growth efforts, because we recognize that our product is innately complex. Because again, most people do not come into the space knowing how yield trading works. So there's a lot of education that we need to inculcate in users. So this is where I think our growth effort ties in with business development, because most of the time we have to, it's one thing to put up the documentation, but it's another thing, completely another scope altogether, to structure materials from existing case studies and share it with the broader community and help them understand the product proposition. So I remember in 2023, when we launched our product, we were still very small, and we were probably sitting $8 to $10 million in TVL. So we reached out to protocols that were much bigger than us to try to establish some sort of partnership that could basically allow us to work alongside the much bigger brands. So in January last year, we had been extremely fortunate to construct a partnership between Pendle, Balancer, Rocket Pool, and Aura. So it became a four-way collaboration to collectively broadcast what Pendle was trying to promote to the community. So ultimately, what we did was, because we were really optimizing the strategy to maximize the APY for users. So we started with the base asset, which was Rocket RETH, that was deposited in Balancer Pool. And then the LP token from Balancer gets deposited into Aura. And this Aura is Pendle built on top of Aura. So effectively, right, if a user participates in the Aura pool on Pendle, the user gets exposure to multi-layers of yield. Now, so this is, I'd say, one of the first successful case studies that we have incorporated. And subsequently, we use that as our prime example of how users could benefit from our protocol to construct similar examples with other LST protocols. So this is, I think, how we were tying the business development aspect with growth. And then I think also very importantly, we have been very timely with the way we captured narratives. So we have definitely benefited from multiple waves of narratives. So we started with the LST last year, and then we also proceeded with Arbitrum around late Q1, early Q2. So when Arbitrum rose in popularity, we also benefited from the rise of Arbitrum. And then Q3, there was also the RWA frenzy. So a lot of people were speculating on T-bill yields around 5%, relatively low risk. And we also jumped on the bandwagon and supported a couple of assets like SDAI, SFREX, and also FUSDC. So, and then fast forward early this year, we were all in on restaking. So I think collectively, just looking back, right, we prepared our product for different times. And then most of the times when we identified a major trend and narrative that we want to focus on, we really get involved in the business development and the growth efforts to make sure that we construct very solid case studies, and then we try to grow that particular case studies across many different products that are from the same segment, and then we establish ourselves as one of the players in that segment.